What if I told you that humans are not just living inside environmental systems, we are actively rewriting them, not just through pollution or deforestation, but in ways that change the air, the water, the soil, and even the way entire ecosystems function. And the surprising part is this: many of these changes happen slowly enough that we barely notice them, until the consequences show up as floods, heat waves, crop failures, or collapsing habitats. So today, let us look at 5 fascinating ways human activity reshapes environmental systems, why it happens, and why understanding it is actually useful. First, land use change. When forests are cleared for farms, cities, roads, or mining, we do not just remove trees, we change the way the land stores water, reflects sunlight, and supports life. A forest acts like a sponge. Its roots hold soil in place, its canopy slows rain, and its leaf litter helps water soak into the ground. Replace that with pavement or bare soil and water rushes off faster. That can increase flooding, reduce groundwater recharge, and wash nutrients away. A concrete example: a city that expands without enough green space can experience hotter temperatures and more flash flooding after storms. Why this is useful to know? Because it means solutions are not just about less development, they are about smarter development. Urban trees, permeable pavement, wetland protection, and better land planning. Second, humans reshape the water cycle. We build dams, reroute rivers, drain wetlands, and pump groundwater. Each of those actions changes where water goes, how long it stays in a system, and who gets access to it. Dams, for instance, can provide electricity, irrigation, and flood control. But they also trap sediment, block fish migration, and change downstream ecosystems that depend on natural seasonal floods. Groundwater pumping is another big one. It can support agriculture in dry regions, but if extraction outpaces refill, wells run dry and land can sink, a process called subsidence. Useful takeaway: water systems are connected. If you change one part, you often affect many others. That is why river management, irrigation, and conservation have to be planned together. Third, we alter the atmosphere. This is the one most people think of first. Burning fossil fuels releases carbon dioxide, methane, and other greenhouse gases. These gases trap heat, which shifts climate patterns over time, but the mechanism is worth understanding. It is not just that the planet gets warmer in a simple sense. Warmer air can hold more moisture, oceans absorb extra heat, and weather patterns become less stable in some regions. That is why some places face stronger droughts, while others see heavier rainfall. This matters practically because it affects everything from crop timing to wildfire risk to insurance costs. For example, farmers may need to plant different crop varieties, shift planting seasons, or invest in irrigation. Cities may need cooling centers, reflective roofs, and heat emergency plans. Fourth, humans move species into places they did not evolve. Through trade, travel, and shipping, plants, animals, and microbes are transported across the world. Sometimes these species become invasive, meaning they spread rapidly and outcompete native species. Why does that happen? Often because they arrive without natural predators or diseases that kept their populations in check in their original habitat. A classic example is zebra mussels in North America, which clog pipes and damage ecosystems by outcompeting native organisms. This is useful to understand because prevention is far easier than control. Once an invasive species spreads, it can be extremely expensive to manage. That is why cleaning boats, inspecting cargo, and monitoring ecosystems is so important. Fifth, humans transform nutrient and chemical cycles. Fertilizers, industrial chemicals, and waste products can overload ecosystems with nitrogen, phosphorus, and toxins. At first, fertilizer can boost crop yields, which is obviously useful. But if too much runs off into rivers and lakes, it can trigger algal blooms. When those algae die, decomposition uses up oxygen, creating dead zones where fish cannot survive. So the same input that helps food production can, if mismanaged, disrupt aquatic ecosystems downstream. This is why precision agriculture matters, applying the right amount at the right time in the right place. It saves money, improves efficiency, and reduces environmental damage. The big idea is this: environmental systems are not separate from human systems anymore. Our farms, cities, energy use, and transportation networks all feed back into the natural world, and then that changed world feeds back into us. The good news is that once you understand the mechanisms, you can design better solutions. Not just greener in theory, but more resilient, more efficient, and more practical in real life. Because the most important question is not whether humans reshape the environment. We already do. The real question is, how intentionally are we going to do it from here? 5 fascinating ways human activity reshapes environmental systems is just one small part of environmental system. If you are interested, our full free environmental system course is linked in the description.